Good morning. Shabbat Shalom. We'll be reading the Torah portion, Toldot, meaning generations, genealogies. We'll be reading Genesis 25:19 through 28:9 from the prophets Malachi 1 all the way through 2:7, Matthew 10:21 through 38, and Romans 9:1 through 16. I'll be reading out of the scriptures. Be starting on page 25, Genesis 25:19. And the genealogy of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham brought forth Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah his wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Amorite of Paddan-aram, and the sister of Laban the Aramean. And Isaac prayed to Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren. Similar story to Sarah. And Yahweh answered his prayer. Rebekah his wife conceived, and with her children struggled together, and she said, if all is right, why am I this way? So she went to ask Yahweh. And Yahweh said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 people shall be separated from your body, twins. And 1 people shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. And when the days are filled for her to give birth, and see, twins were in her womb. And the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment. So they called his name Esau. And afterward his brother came out, with his hand holding onto Esau's heel. So his name was Jacob. So his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 60 years old when she bore them. And the sons grew up, and Esau became a man, knowing how to hunt, a man of the field, while Jacob was a complete man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he ate of his wild game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob cooked a stew, and Esau came in from the field, and he was weary. And Esau said to Jacob, please feed me with the same red stew, for I am weary. That is why his name is called Edom. But Jacob said, sell me your birthright today. And Esau said, look, I am going to die, so why should I have birthright? Then Jacob said, swear to me today. And he swore to him, and sold his birthright to Jacob. And Jacob then gave Esau bread and stew of lentils, and he ate and drank, and rose and left. Thus Esau despised his birthright. And there was a scarcity of food in the land, besides the first scarcity of food, which was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went to Amalek, sovereign of the Philistines, in Gerar. And Yahweh appeared to him and said, do not go to Mizraim. Live in the land which I commanded you. Sojourn in the land, and I shall be with you, and bless you. For I give all these lands to you and your seed, and I shall establish the oath which I swore to Abraham your father. And I shall increase your seed like the stars of the heaven, and I shall give all these lands to your seed. And in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because Abraham obeyed my voice and guarded my charge, my commands, my laws, and my Torah. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And when the men of the place asked about his wife, he said, she is my sister. for he was afraid to say she was my wife, thinking lest the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she is good looking, father like son. And it came to be, when he had been there a long time, that Amalek, sovereign of the Philistines, looked through a window, and he watched and saw Isaac playing with Rebekah, his wife. So Amalek called Isaac and said, "See, truly she is your wife. So how could you say she is my sister?" And Isaac said to him, "Because I said, lest I die on account of her." And Amalek said, "What is it that you have done to us? One of the people had almost laid with your wife, and you would have brought guilt on us." And Amalek commanded all his people, saying, "He who touches this man or his wife shall certainly be put to death." And Isaac sowed in that land and reaped in the same year 100-fold, and Yahweh blessed him. And the man grew great and went forward until he became very great. And he came to have possessions of flocks and possessions of herds and a great body of servants, and the Philistines envied him. And the Philistines had stopped up all the wells which his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham his father, and filled them with dirt. And Amalek said to Isaac, "Go away from us, for you are much mightier than we." So Isaac went from there, and pitched his tent in the Wadi Gehar, and dwelt there. And Isaac dug again the wells of the water, which they had dug in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them up after the death of Abraham. And he called them by the names which his father had called them. But when Isaac's servants dug in the wadi and found a well of running water there, the herdsmen of Gerar strove with Isaac's herdsmen, saying, "The water is ours." And he called the name of the well Eshol, because they strove with him. And they dug another well, and they strove over that one too. And he called it name Sitnesh. And he moved from there and dug another well. And they did not strive over there. And he called it Rehoboth, and said, From now Yahweh has made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And from there he went up to Beersheba. And Yahweh appeared to him the same night and said, I am the Elohim of your father Abraham. Do not fear, for I am with you, and shall bless you and increase your seed for my servant Abraham's sake. And he built a slaughter place there, and called the name of Yahweh, and he pitched his tent there. And the servants of Isaac dug a well there. And Amalek came to him from Gehar with Ahuzah, one of his friends, and Piccolo, the commander of his army. And Isaac said to him, Why have you come to see me, seeing you have hated me and sent me away from you? But they said, We clearly seen that Yahweh is with you. And we said, Please, let there be an oath between us, between you and us, and let us make a covenant with you, that you do no evil to us, as we have not touched you, and as we have done only good towards you, and have sent you away in peace. You are now blessed by Yahweh. And he made them a feast, and they ate and drank. And they rose early in the morning and swore an oath with one another, and Isaac let them go, and they departed from him in peace. And on that same day, it came to be that the servants of Isaac came and informed him about the well which they had dug, and said to him, We have found water. So he called it Shebath. Therefore the name of the city in Beersheba to this day. And when Eshol was 40 years old, he took wives, Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Basmith, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. And they were a bitterness of spirit to Isaac and Rebekah. And it came to be when Isaac was old, and his eyes were too dim to see, he had called Esau his older son, and said to him, My son. And he answered him, Here I am. And he said, See, now I am old. I do not know the day of my death. Now then, please take your weapons, your quiver, your bow, and go out to the field and hunt wild game for me. And make a tasty dish, such as I love, and bring it to me to eat, in order that my being does bless you before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt wild game, and to bring it. And Rebekah spoke to Jacob her son, saying, See, I heard your father speak to Esau your brother, saying, Bring me wild game, make me a tasty dish, and I bless you in the presence of Yahweh before my death. Now, my son, listen to my voice, according to that I command you. Please go to the flock, and bring me 2 choice young goats, and I make a tasty dish from them for your father, such as he loves. And you shall take it to your father, and he shall eat it, so that he might bless you before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, See, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth-skinned man. What if my father touches me? Then I shall be like a deceiver in his eyes, and he shall bring a curse on myself, and not a blessing. But his mother said to him, Let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice, and go, get them for me. And he went and fetched them and brought them to his mother, and his mother made a tasty dish such as his father loved. And Rebekah took the best garments of her elder son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob her younger son. And she put the skins of the younger goats on his hands, and the smooth part of his neck. And she gave the tasty dish and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he went to his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am. Who are you, my son? And Jacob, said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you had said to me. Please rise, sit, and eat of my wild game, so that your being might bless me. But Isaac said to my son, How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because Yahweh your Elohim brought it to me. Then Isaac said to Jacob, Please come near, so that I might feel you, my son, whether you truly are my son Esau or not. And Jacob went near to Isaac, his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are of Esau. And he did not recognize him, for his hands were hairy like his brother's Esau's hands, and he blessed him. And he said, Are you truly my son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and let me eat of my son's wild game, so that my being might bless you. So he brought it near him, and he ate. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said to him, Please come near and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of the garments and blessed him and said, See, the smell of my son is like the smell of the field which Yahweh has blessed. And Elohim give you of the dew of the heavens, of the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine. Let people serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be master over your brothers, and let your mother's son bow down to you. Cursed be those cursing you, and bless those blessing you. And it came to be as soon as Isaac had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had hardly left the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau, his brother, came in from hunting. And he made a tasty dish and brought it to his father and said to his father, Let my father rise and eat of his son's wild game, so that your being might bless me. And his father Isaac said to him, Who are you? He said, I am your son, your firstborn Esau. Then Isaac trembled exceedingly and said, Who was it then who hunted wild game and brought it to me, and I ate all of it before you came? And I have blessed him. Yes, he is blessed. When Esau heard the words of his father, he cried out with exceedingly great and bitter cry, and said to his father, Bless me too, O my father. And he said, Your brother came with deceit and took your blessing. And Esau said, Was his name then called Jacob? For he has caught me by the heel these 2 times. He took my birthright, and see, now he has taken my blessing. And he said, Have you not reserved a blessing for me? Then Isaac answered and said to Esau, See, I have made him your master, and all his brothers I've given to him as servants, and I have sustained him with grain and wine. And what then shall I do for you, my son? And Esau said to his father, Have you only one blessing, my father? Bless me too, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said to him, See, your dwelling is of the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heavens from above. And by your sword you are to live, and serve your brother. And it shall be, when you grow restless, you shall break his yoke from your neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, These days of mourning for my father draw near, then I am going to kill my brother Jacob. And the words of Esau, her older son, were reported to Rebekah, and she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said to him, See, your brother Esau comforts himself concerning you to kill you. Now, my son, listen to my voice, and rise, flee to my brother Laban in Haran, and stay with him a few days until your brother's wrath turns away, until your brother's displeasure turns away from you, and he forgets what you have done to him. And I shall send and bring you from there. Why should I be bereaved of you both in one day? And Rebekah said to Isaac, I am disgusted with my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob takes a wife from the daughters of Heth, like those who are the daughters of the land, what is my life to me? And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and commanded him and said to him, Do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Arise and go to Panaram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and take a wife for yourself from there, and from the daughters of Laban, of your mother's brother. And El Shaddai bless you, and make you fruitful, and increase you, and you shall become an assembly of peoples, and give you the blessing of Abraham, to you and your seed with you, so that you inherit the land of your sojourn, which Elohim gave to Abraham. So Isaac went to Jacob away. So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he went to Padaram, to Laban, son of Bethuel, the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, the Amorite, the brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. And Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and sent him away to Padan to take himself a wife from there, and that he blessed him and gave him a command, saying, "Do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan." And that Jacob had obeyed his father and his mother and had gone to Padan. So Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan did not please his father Isaac. And Esau went to Israel, and took Mahaleth, the daughter of Yisrael's Abraham's son, the sister of Nahor, to be his wife, besides the wives he has. Concludes the Torah portion. Moving on to the prophets, or Malachi 1, on page 655 of the book of the Scriptures. We'll read all the way through 7. The message of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, said Yahweh, but you asked, in what way have you loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, declares Yahweh, and I loved Jacob. But I have hated Esau, and have laid waste his mountains and his inheritance for the jackals of the wilderness. If Edom says, we have been beaten down, let us return and rebuild the ruins. Yahweh of hosts said thus, let them build, but I tear it down. They shall be called the border of wrongness, and the people against whom Yahweh is enraged forever. And your eyes shall see, and you shall say, great is Yahweh beyond the border of Israel. A son esteems his father, and a servant his master. And if I am the father, where is my esteem, glory? And if I am a master, where is my fear? Said Yahweh of hosts to the priests who despised my name. But you asked, in what way have you despised your name? Have we despised your name? You are presenting defiled food on my slaughter places. You have asked, in what way have we defiled you? Because you say the table of Yahweh is despicable. And when you present the blind as a slaughtering, is it not evil? And when you present the lame and sick, is it not evil? Bring it then to your governor. Would he be pleased with you? Would he accept you favorably? Said Yahweh of hosts. And now entreat the face of El to show favor to us. Thus, this has been done by your hands. Would he show favor to you? Said Yahweh of hosts. Who among you would shut the doors, so that you would not kindle fire on my slaughter place for naught? I have no pleasure in you, said Yahweh of hosts, nor do I accept an offering from your hands. From your rising of the sun even to its going down, my name is great among nations, and in every place incense is presented to my name, and a cleansing offering. For my name is great among nations, said Yahweh of hosts, but you are profaning me in what you say. The table of Yahweh is defiled, and its food is despicable. And you said, oh, what weariness! And you sneered at it, said Yahweh of hosts. And you brought in plunder, and the lame and sick. Thus you have brought in the offering. Shall I accept this from your hand, O Yahweh? Be cursed be the deceiver who has a male in his flock, and who makes a vow, but is slaughtering to Yahweh. What is a blemish? For I am a great sovereign, said Yahweh of hosts, and my name is feared among the nations. And now, O priests, on the 2, Malachi 2, and now, O priests, this command is for you. If you do not hear, and if you do not take it to heart, to give esteem to my name, said Yahweh of hosts, I shall send a curse upon you, and I shall curse your blessings, and indeed I have cursed them, because they do not take it to heart. See, I shall rebuke your seed, and scatter dung before your faces, and the dung of your the dung of your festivals, and you shall be taken away with, and you shall know what I have set this command to you as being my covenant with Levi, said Yahweh of hosts. My covenant with him was life and peace, and I gave to him to fear, and he feared me, stood in the awe of my name. The Torah of truth was in his mouth, and unrighteousness was not found on his lips. He walked with me in peace and straightness, and turned away from crookedness. For the lips of a priest should guard knowledge, and they seek the Torah from his mouth. For he is a messenger of Yahweh of hosts. That concludes the prophets section. We move on to the apostles. We'll be reading Matthew 10, 21 through 38, found on page 929 of the scriptures. And brother shall deliver up brother to death, and a father his children, and children shall rise against parents, and shall put them to death. And you shall be hated by all for my name's sake. But he who shall have endured to the end shall be saved. And when they persecute you in this city, flee to another. For truly I say to you, you shall by no means have gone through the cities of Israel before the Son of Adam comes. A taught one is not above his teacher, nor a servant above his master. Is it enough for the taught ones to become like his teacher, and the servant like his master? If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more those of his household? Therefore, do not fear them. For whatever is covered shall be revealed, and whatever is hidden shall be made known. What I say to you in the dark, speak in the light, and what you hear in the ear, proclaim on the housetops. And do not fear those who kill the body, but are unable to kill the being. But rather fear him who is able to destroy both being and body in Gehenna. Are not two sparrows sold for a copper coin, and not one of them falls to the ground without your Father? And even the hairs of your head are all numbered. So do not fear, you are worth more than many sparrows. Everyone, therefore, who shall confess me before man, him I shall also confess before my Father who is in the heavens. But whoever shall deny me before man, him I shall also deny before my Father who is in the heavens. Do not think that I have come to bring peace on earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to bring division, a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's enemies are those of his own household. He who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he who loves a son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he who does not take up his stake and follow after me is not worthy of me. Concludes Matthew. Let's Romans 9, 1 through 16. Found in Scriptures, page 1098. I speak the truth in Messiah. I do not lie. My conscience also bearing me witness in a set apart spirit, that I have great sadness and continual grief in my heart. For I myself could have wished to be banished from Messiah for the sake of my brothers, my relatives according to the flesh, who are the children of Israel, to whom in the adoption and the esteem, glory, and covenants, and the giving of the Torah, and the worship and promises. Whose are the fathers, and from whom is the Messiah according to the flesh? Who is over all? Elohim, blessed forever. Amen. However, it is not as though the word of Elohim has failed, for they are not all Israel who are of Israel. Neither are they all children, because they are the seed of Abraham. But in Isaac your seed shall be called. What is this? What is those who are the children of the flesh? These are not the children of Elohim, but the children of the promise are reckoned as the seed. For this is the word of promise. At this time I shall come, and Sarah shall have a son. But not only so, but Rebekah, having conceived by one, our father Isaac. Yet because they were born and have done any good or evil in order for that purpose of Elohim according to choice, might stand, not in the of works, but of himself who calls. It is said to her, the greater shall serve the lesser. As it has been written, Jacob, Jehob, I have loved, but Esau I have hated. What then shall we say? Is there unrighteousness in Elohim? Let it not be. For he says to Moses, I shall favor whomever I favor, and I shall have compassion on whomever I have compassion. So then, it is not of him who is wishing, nor of him who is running, but of Elohim who shows favor. For the scripture says to Pharaoh, for this same purpose I have raised you up, to show my power in you, and that my name be declared in all the earth. So then, he favors whom he wishes, and hardens whom he wishes. Shalom. Hope you have a great Shabbat. It's been my pleasure, my honor to read this to you. Make it a great day. Read your Bible and talk to the Father.